think in new ways about how we can live, prosper, and provide energy for our world while protecting our planet. Engineers are answering the call to create cleaner, safer, reliable energy. Solar power, harnessing the power of the sun to light all corners of the globe. Wind power, channeling a simple breeze to bring electricity to our homes. Hydropower, using the natural flow of water to generate electricity. Nuclear power, engineering advanced reactors that are safer, more reliable, and produce zero carbon emissions. Engineers are leading the way and empowering the next generation. Engineers answer the call. Brought to you by the National Academy of Engineering. Learn more at nae.edu.
Listen to the man who tells you exactly how he sees it. The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's Beta time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
What up, Truth Nation? This is Truth to Power on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am Kyle Wallace, the host of Truth to Power. Shout out to my boy DJ Brother Z holding it down on the ones and twos as always. And it's been a little bit of a day, Truth Nation. It's been a little bit of a day, but you know what? I just got a kick in the behind that I needed. I caught myself crying and complaining, and DJ Ricky, he told me, quit all that crying, shut up, and go to work. And I said, you know, I need that. See, I feed off of that type of energy. See, I ain't one of them baby millennials or baby Gen Zers. I'm a millennial who got to, sulk or be sad about stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need stuff like that. I get motivated by it. So I guarantee y'all we're going to have a great show today, all thanks to the motivation that I just got to make sure I do my best and do my darndest. So 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk the text line. Remember, y'all can always stream and watch us live on YouTube at 1017 The Truth, or you can go to 1017thetruth.com and hit watch live. But make sure you go to YouTube, 101.7 The Truth on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, that thumbs up button, and make sure y'all watch and stream us live. And it's been an interesting day today because I as y'all can see, I'm dressed nicely today. I look good. I got the Cuban link on today, so make sure you go to YouTube and see what I'm talking about. The dreads is freshly retwisted. I was trying to get them twisted a month ago, but then my dread lady, shout out to Michelle's African hair braiding. She had something happen in the family, with me. If I got an appointment and something happened, it take me a while to get it rescheduled, but I finally got it rescheduled because today was supposed to be picture day. It was supposed to be picture day for 1017 The Truth, so I had to put on the turtleneck. Yeah.
Where was that email?
You weren't on the email?
No, and neither was Ricky.
Oh, maybe it was only sent to the host. To be honest, maybe it was only sent to the host. Maybe that's what it was. I think they're looking for new headshots and picture days for our partnerships. I think. I don't know. My roles changed, DJ Brother Z. I just yeah, yes. I'll be there. I'll be there. And so I got all dressed up today, but I had it all planned out, Truth Nation. And so I had it all planned out. I said, I got a meeting at 9 a.m. at work. I typically get here between 8:15 and 8:45 every day. That's kind of the floating time I get here. Depending on if I got to work late, I might get here at 9. But I'm here before 9 every day. But I usually get here between 8:15 and 8:45. And so I got here earlier today because I say I got a meeting at 9, but I got my dreads retwisted last night. And I had to go to my barber today. I said, I got to get lined up. I got to get cleaned up. You know what I'm saying? I had my barber to taper me up, fade me up. I'm good. I had to get good. And so I said, I got a meeting at 9 a.m., but I'm going to hit my barber up and see exactly what time I can get there at so I can be able to get lined up and then get back for Truth to Power. So I hit up my barber, and shout out to my barber, Mo Cuss. Love Mo. Hit him up, and he said, Kyle, I got somebody right at 10, but I'm going to get you next. I said, bet. Got it. I'll be there. So I got there right at 10. He said, his guy was right there at 10. I said, perfect. I'm about to go run, get some cash. I'll be right back. He said, bet. So I go there. I go run and get some cash at the Pick and Save down the street, which was quite the experience, I have to say. It was, let me tell you something. I don't know if y'all know this about crackheads. Crackheads are incredible. I don't know how crackheads can sit out here in this cold weather begging for stuff. I don't know what that crack does to you. And I hope we help individuals that are struggling with drug abuse. I do. But I'm just saying they got some incredible stuff because that woman was out there in the cold weather begging. I'm like, dang, it is freezing out here. How are you doing this? But neither here nor there. And then also, if you don't know, I think if anybody has United Healthcare food benefit cards, the cards ain't working. I don't know if that got something to do with Trump or not, but he may be coming for EBT right now. But anyways, back to my story. So I got some cash. I got some money. I went back to the barbershop. I get back to the barbershop, and the person that was ahead of me is getting up, wiping themselves down, wiping it down because they're getting out the chair, getting ready to leave. And I'm like, oh, perfect time and bet. It's 10:20. I'm about to get in the chair. I'll be out of here in like 20 minutes. Then my barber hit me with the, Kyle. I said, uh-oh. He said, my bad. I told this guy I was going to get him. I'm just going to line him up real quick. I'm going to take care of him. I said, okay. That's cool. I'm going to wait. And where I messed up at is our photo day got canceled, and I told him at a certain point, I was like, oh, Mo, just so you know, my picture day got canceled, so we good. Oh, I shouldn't have said that because he went from assistant urgency, and y'all know how barbers is. They talk, they laugh, they let the day go by, and he started moving at a slow pace, and I had to leave. I had to get back to another meeting, and I thought to myself, a lot of people will quit a barber, right? A lot of people will quit certain things if something like that happened. But DJ Brother Z, one thing I realized is in Truth Nation is that we are more loyal to our barbers and beauticians and locticians and stylists than we are to our own women, men, or whatever it is. Like, I have had a longer relationship with my barber than I have had with almost any non-family member in my life. I have been going to the same barber who is fantastic. Shout out to Mo Cuts. Definitely go. Great barbershop. Great. He's a great guy. King alum. Like, he dope. He's the guy. But I've been going to Mo since I was 8 years old. I've been going in for almost 30 years. And I ain't never switching up. And I just thought to myself as I was getting ready for the show, I said, man, a relationship with a barber in the black community, a relationship with a hairstylist, a relationship with a loctician. I've been going to my loctician since 2008. It is 2025, almost 20 years. I done seen her kids grow up. I done seen her go from being pregnant to the little boy running around. You know what I'm saying? Like going to high school. Like, it is insane from what I have seen. And we have these relationships. And I just find it interesting that we literally will value our relationship for our hairstylist, our loctician, our barber, more than we will value some relationships that we have with individuals. It is crazy to me. So that's the thing that popped in my mind, is that we legitimately value these relationships so much. I'm going to go back, get lined up. But it was just a story that I had that popped that was just fresh on my mind today. And when I was coming down, our director of content, Sean, was like, oh, bro, and he got a New York accent. He's like, oh, bro, like, you didn't get the haircut. You didn't get the cut. I was like, yeah, man, you know how it is. He said, yo, bro, I love this accent. And so I was like, yeah, maybe I should talk about it, because it was something that was on top of my mind today. But 833-212-1017, that is the Truth Talk to text line. Before we get into the real stuff that we're going to talk about today, I do want to just tell everybody, dang, Bobby, dang. If you have not heard, I know Sherwin talked about it briefly with Denise Thomas, who was here. is Bobby Portis of the Milwaukee Bucks has been suspended for 25 games for basically taking the wrong pain medication. And you know what makes me so frustrated about this is every single time the Bucks try to get right, something always happens. Last year, a lot of stuff happened. Well, we'll go 2 years ago. Going into the playoffs 2 years ago, Chris Middleton not 100% healthy, and then Giannis goes down with a back injury in the first round, and so we can know, or maybe first or second round, and so then all of a sudden we ain't got Giannis, and so now we got to go through that. And then before, I think it was 2022, I believe Giannis got hurt as well, and we were playing without Giannis in 2022, and we tried to play the Boston Celtics to go to the NBA Finals, and we lost in 6 games. Or somebody got hurt. I think Chris or somebody got hurt. Chris or Giannis got hurt. And then last year, going into the playoffs, well, not even going into the playoffs, last year we fired Adrian Griffin as a coach, was a mess. And then Giannis hurt his calf right before the playoffs started. And then Dame got hurt during the playoffs, and we had to depend on Chris. And we all know Chris was too old. Chris could barely move. We traded Chris this year because he could barely move. Now this year, Giannis is about to come back off an injury. Dame been playing well. He's healthy. We traded for Kyle Kuzma. He's been playing well. Kevin Porter Jr. we traded for. He's been playing well. Bobby Porter's been playing well. Like, we getting ready to have a team together for the next 28 games, and then Bobby gets suspended for 25 games, which only leaves him with a couple games before the playoffs. So we can't never get right in Milwaukee. Can't never get right in Milwaukee. So that is the frustrating thing for me with the Milwaukee Bucks. But that was the thing that's off the top of my mind that I had going. But when we come back, Truth Nation, this diversity, equity, inclusion conversation, I haven't really talked about it because there's a lot that the administration throws at us every day. They literally are trying to throw us off the tracks, so it's just too much information overload. But with my academic background, with the fact that I worked in higher education to start my career, I mean, even when I was in grad school, I taught classes at Central Michigan University. So, and then before that, I was a substitute teacher with Milwaukee Public Schools. And before that, I worked in after-school programs as a teenager working with elementary school kids. So when it comes to academics, when it comes to education, when it comes to the rights of our students, I don't play with that, and that's something that I truly care about. So when I see a thing where Donald Trump and his administration is telling elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, and higher education institutions of learning that they must rid themselves of anything that has to do with diversity, equity, inclusion on campus, that makes me upset and that makes me mad. And I'm telling y'all this right now. On the other side, I will break down while we are now living in a world where we have a white nationalist president. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It cannot be denied. From what we are seeing right now, the president of the United States, Donald Trump, is a white nationalist, and his policies uplift white nationalism and white idealisms. And don't let anybody tell you anything different than what we are seeing. If you support Donald Trump or you voted for Donald Trump, you support white nationalism. That is exactly what it is. You can never tell me anything different because we are right now seeing attack on things that benefit African Americans. If you are a Trump supporter, please tell me within these first 30-some days, what has Donald Trump done that will benefit the black community? Because everything that he has done negatively is going to have ramifications that hurt us for the next 4 years. 833-212-1017. I'm fired up about this because this one hits home. This one really connected with me when I hear that they are trying to eliminate organizations on campus. They are trying to eliminate groups and spaces on campuses that allow for black students. And yes, other students are impacted, but this is Milwaukee Black Talk. But allows for black students to no longer have a place that they can go to, a place that they can identify with, a place that they can relate with somebody. Donald Trump doesn't give a damn about black people. And I'm going to tell you why on the other side. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call That's All Gruber Cash giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
Every accomplishment starts somewhere. For University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee student Nick Birschbach, it was internships that led to a job at GE Healthcare. For Charles Kelly, it started with an internship at a TV station. Now, he's a weekend anchor. And for Jaden Anderson, her leadership led to recognition from the American Institute of Architecture students. The path to success goes many places. It starts at UWM.
Protect your dream home with American Family Insurance, and you can weather any storm. You'll also save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. Products are not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Happy Black History Month from the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. The Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network values and celebrates the wealth of diversity reflected in the patients, families, workforce, and communities it serves. What is so beautiful about their efforts is they aim to deliver healthcare services that meet the social, cultural, and linguistic needs of their patients. By addressing social determinants of health like education, employment, and food insecurity, they know it can help them in offering the best possible health outcomes and quality of care for patients while also working to eliminate racial and ethnic health disparities impacting our community. The Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network has made it a goal to be a leader of change in our community and so much more because health equity is fundamental to the organization's mission and simply the right thing to do. Join 1017 The Truth and the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network as we celebrate Black excellence with you during Black History Month.
It is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Check. Straight up, dog. Straight up. Yeah, straight up. Hello. Hey. Bitch, I go by Mike.
So this something I could jig to. Baby, watch your feet and let me show you what I'm fin do. I never chase the but the bag is what I get to. I never stress the cause if I lose her, I can get to. Hey, bring the blicky over some.
Welcome back in to Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am Kyle Wallace taking you through the next about 43 minutes here on Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth. Make sure y'all watch and stream us live on YouTube. That's 101.7 The Truth on YouTube. If you want to chime in on the conversation, 833-212-1017. And so, I mean, I guess I'll start with this. The Education Department sent a letter to schools threatening their federal funding if any school considers race in any aspect of student life, any aspect of admissions, just anything that on campus has to do with race. They're going to strip federal funding from the school. And so what it says, dear colleague, discrimination on the basis of race, color, or national origin is illegal and morally reprehensible. Accordingly, I write to clarify and reaffirm the non-discrimination obligation of schools and other entities that receive federal financial assistance from the United States. And so what they are looking to do is they are looking to say, if you have anything at your university, at your elementary school, at your middle school, or your high school that is focused on race, So if you have a black student union, if you have a Asian Pacific Islander organization, if you have a group like Educational Opportunity Program that focuses on trying to diversify a campus, if you do anything, whether it's related to admissions to your institution, whether it's related to student life of your school, that has anything to do with race, you will lose federal funding. And why this should infuriate a lot of people is because we have to understand what this is rooted in, Truth Nation. This is not rooted in the fact that we want equality for all. This is not rooted in the fact that we want to support individuals that have been disenfranchised. This is coming from a space of white people reacting and fighting back. This is the rise of white idealisms right here in America. Because the best way to make people feel good about themselves, the best way to empower people is to say, you know what, you are absolutely right. These rules, these laws, regardless of why we have this, right? Regardless of the reason why we have this black student union, regardless of the reason why we have these laws so you can't discriminate against people, if it makes white men or white women, mostly white men, because they are the problem for the most part, if it makes them feel uncomfortable, we are going to get rid of it. Point blank, period. And so what they are basically doing, it is allowing for white men to have a clear conscience, allowing for white men not to have to worry about unconscious bias. That's what that's all about. It is about clearing the conscience of white men to make whatever decisions that they want. Because what I find to be crazy is that they are attacking spaces that impact people of color, but they are not attacking the fact that you can have legacy omissions or you can hire somebody at a job that's not qualified, such as Preet Hegseth for a job who is the Secretary of the United States Secretary of Defense, who is unqualified for the position that he has, but since Donald Trump knows him, he brings him in, even though he is the least qualified United States Secretary of Defense that we have seen in the last 100 years. But because he knows Trump, he gets to skip a line of men and women who have served this country and who are decorated veterans. But because he knows Trump, he gets to jump the line. And when they see that, they just say, well, that's just the way it works. So what we have to understand right now is that when I look at this, I feel like African-American students are under attack. And when I say that, is I'm not just using hyperbole when I say these things, right? Do know everything I say, it comes from a place of understanding, research, and a place of frustration of what is going on, because when Trump got elected, I said, well, it's just 4 years, we'll deal with it. But now within the first month, I'm realizing that this is going to be the worst 4 years for African Americans that we have had to live through for the last 50 years. And I say that because we did not vote or support Donald Trump. Since we did not vote for or support Donald Trump, he sees us as his enemy. And as us being his enemy, he is going to take away things that could support us. And so when I talk about black student unions on campus being eliminated, do know if you have a child in school who is black, or if you have a niece or a nephew or a cousin or somebody in school who's black and they have a black student union on campus, do know they're under attack. Do know there will be conversations within the next month where black student unions will be asked to change their name. And you may say, well, Kyle, you're being extreme. Nope, I'm not. Because at the University of Utah last year, the state of Utah passed a law where you could not have diversity, equity, inclusion type clubs that talked about race or identity. And so the Black Student Union at the University of Utah was told that they could not hold an event if they were going to talk about race or identity. Yes, they told black students to not talk about their experience of being black on campus or their identity of being a black male or black female on campus. They were also instructed that they should probably change the name from Black Student Union to something else. That is just the first example of what is to come. Here in the state of Wisconsin, just last year, the state of Wisconsin, the UW system, basically held the UW system hostage and refused to send them money and funds unless they eliminated some DEI offices at UW-Madison. They told Madison, the best institution in the state of Wisconsin, a top 25 school in the country, who educates students across America, but specifically here in Wisconsin, the best university we have. They told them, if you want this money to renovate and build the engineering school, you need to eliminate those offices. And we all have to understand, just because some of these people who don't look like us will march with us, will stand by our side, will support us, will say, I see you, when it comes down to their money, they don't care about us. And so what did the UW system do? They eliminated the positions. They moved some people around. They may have fired some people, and they got their money for the engineering building. But again, when they did that, they eliminated a space for us. At the Army, the University of Army, who is a great school, not only academically, but a lot of generals will come from Army. They usually support a engineering recruitment event that they go to, and they support to find black boys and girls who are up and coming, who want to be engineers, and they get awarded. It's a prestigious event. Because of the new administration, they said they are no longer recruiting at that event because the event only focuses on black engineers. I'm telling y'all, we are under attack under this current administration, and the next 4 years will be hell for us. 833-212-1017. Michael, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your thoughts or comments on this conversation?
I think as far as everything being cut by Donald Trump, yeah, that may be part of it, but I think it's a lot bigger than that. The United States was at one time a global superpower in terms of as far as their money is concerned. Now these other countries are telling the United States to kick rocks, and they're going to these other countries and they're forming what you call BRIC as far as using different currency. I think I kind of think that the programs are being cut. I think this is a small reason. I think the bigger reason is because of the fact that other countries are going to start using currency. The United States is trying to run for cover, cut their losses, and they can't. And the other countries using other currency is going to impact on the economy, on the regional economy.
Michael, you know what's interesting about this BRICS conversation, right? Like we've heard of BRICS, and BRICS is an organization of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Indonesia, Iran, and UAE are considering to be part of that. You know what's interesting about that is that the United States, the reason why, and this is going a little bit off, but we're going to talk about it, is we heard the conversation about USAID, the organization that we have here in America that basically had places across the globe where we supported causes of, people who had disease, people who had different sicknesses. We supported them by having, places across the globe. That was a way for United States to take care of other people, but also to have their arm in other places, to make sure people were indebted to us. Say, hey, here in Ethiopia, we have this place where if people get sick, you can go to. If you don't do what we say, we can move it. It was a bargaining chip, right? And so now when when Trump has removed all that, guess who's going to replace that? Guess who raised their hand and said, well, we want to have the influence in that area? China. China's not going to have the influence. Mm-hmm. And you talk about BRICS as well, is that, I don't know if you noticed in the news recently, but the president of the United States has been cozying up to Vladimir Putin, and now America has a negative stance towards Ukraine. And Russia is a pusher and a leader with BRICS. So we may think that you may have something to do with that. I think that we just need to be more mindful of the fact that it's BRICS is a thing, but I think it's something completely different of why we're seeing it. And I think it has a lot to do with one man's ego versus anything else, and how one man's family can benefit the most. Well, thank you, Michael. I appreciate you. I appreciate you chiming in and calling in. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk to Text line. On the other side, we're going to continue this conversation, and we're going to talk about the fact that We are under attack here in America, and Donald Trump laid out nuggets. 833-212-1017. Are you concerned about the fact that the Department of Education has basically told schools across this country you must eliminate offices that have to do with any type of gender identity, any type of race, anything that has to do with omitting black students, any type of organization on campus that uplifts students of color, they must be eliminated in 14 days or you could lose funding which helps feed kids here in the state of Wisconsin. We get $200 million plus per year from the federal government that helps feed kids in schools. That funding is now being threatened because MPS might have an organization such as the Black and Latino Male Initiative that allows for Black and Latino males across Milwaukee to have an opportunity to find mentors, right? Like, that's what we got to understand, that this is something as simple as that. As simple as saying, listen, we have a group of young men who we want to have them to have the opportunity to be around others who are succeeding so they can see something better. And the Trump administration is saying, take that Black and Latino off, and it needs to be for everybody. And you got to include whites. You can't exclude whites. It's nonsense of what we're seeing. But 833-212-1017, that's the Truth Talk to text line. Definitely chime in on the conversation if you are as concerned or frustrated as I am. But also, you can watch and stream us live on YouTube. That's 101.7 The Truth on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. But on the other side, we're going to continue this conversation. And I'm also going to tell y'all a little bit of story about how Donald Trump told the Civil Rights Division to stop investigating anything that has to do with civil rights against people of color and focus on racism against whites. Yes, you think I'm lying, but I'm absolutely not. I'll tell you more about that on the other side. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
More of Truth to Power is next on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Truth Nation, get ready to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community as we host our first annual Truth Community Awards on Friday, February 28th at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. We will celebrate 10 unsung heroes of our community and roll out the red carpet for those making a positive impact every day. Tickets are selling fast, so go to 1017thetruth.com today to make sure you do not miss out on the biggest celebration in Milwaukee. Tickets are only $25 and include free food, free drinks, and free truth giveaways. Don't miss an evening filled with entertainment, heartfelt stories, and celebrating our city with the 1017 The Truth team. Visit 1017thetruth.com right now to buy your tickets to our Truth Community Awards. That is 1017thetruth.com to secure your spot for a night of celebrating the excellence of our community. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel and sponsored by Community Advocates. This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 1017 The Truth.
What was the life change? You know, we all know it happened and we know things happen and you have bad kidneys, but what was the life change afterwards?
A couple things. Before they even allow you to get on the list, they make you go through a battery of tests. And, you know, a lot of people don't qualify because they're overweight or they have high blood pressure or high cholesterol. So all those things are requirements before you can even get approved to be on the list. So I had...
Wait, you got to be approved to be on the list?
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's interesting. There's a professional athlete or former professional athlete I know right now that has kidney disease and he's on dialysis and he wants to get on the list and he's not accepting all the things you have to do, you know, to get on the list. But yeah, so for me, I spent 30 years in the automobile industry. You know, that's 12, 14-hour days, eating whatever somebody brings you to eat, whatever you run out and grab, McDonald's, whatever. It was never salads and, you know.
Yeah, but that was a
water.
choice, right?
It was a choice. Yeah. But I had to change all of that to even qualify to be on the list. I had to get down to the weight I had to be at. I had to get my phosphorus under control, my potassium under control.
Wait a minute. Even though somebody said they would give you a kidney,
absolutely,
you had to still make yourself eligible?
Absolutely.
Nah, that's okay.
When I mentioned the athlete, his relative actually died, and they wanted to take his organs, and they couldn't because he wasn't qualified. He wasn't on the list. Wow. Yeah, you have to be.
So there are over 100,000 people on that waiting list, so they are very serious.
And how many donors do we have?
And that's the problem. We don't have nearly enough donors.
Wow.
And that's why it's such a critical need. But they are serious about who they're giving that gift of life to, because there are so many people who are literally dying waiting for it.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. The Milwaukee Bucks will get back to work tonight as they get set to host the LA Clippers. Giannis' availability is undetermined, but he did speak to the media following practice on Wednesday regarding his calf injury.
One of my goals is to be available for the playoffs. Obviously, we are 30 games away. It's a long time. But at the end of the day, like, my main focus is to take care of my body, be smart.
Tip-off tonight is set for 7 p.m. Over to college football, where Wisconsin and head coach Luke Fickell have agreed to an extension that pushes his contract out through the 2031 season. The new deal is a one-year extension on his existing deal. And lastly, Team USA and Canada will meet tonight in the NHL's Four Nations Face-Off Championship game. Team USA beat Canada back on February 18th, 3-1. Puck drop tonight is set for 7 p.m. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth to Power on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
Tune in to The Truth this Saturday at 11 a.m. for another episode of More Than a Movement, powered by Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin. Carrie Noni will be joined by Sarah Noble, principal partner at B Noble Group, and Dr. Sandra Jones, the executive director at Victory Garden Initiative. They will discuss how Black love is the foundation of our history. Again, that is More Than a Movement, powered by Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin, this Saturday at 11 a.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. And also, Truth Nation, our first annual Truth Community Awards is officially sold out. Thank you for your unwavering love and support. Next Friday, we can't wait to celebrate the 10 honorees who are making a real difference in our community. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. Your win is waiting. Visit paysbig.com to find out all that they have to offer, and sponsored by Community Advocates. 833-212-1017. Miss Sandra, is this Miss Sandra? Miss Sandra, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. How you doing, Miss Sandra? Is this your first time or second time calling into my show?
The second. I've been listening, though.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you. What's on your mind, Miss Sandra?
Yeah, but I love your show, and I'm going to call it more because you always hit to the real, core of the problems that we have, because we see that it's always, whatever they use is a strategy, because it's always the black society, the black people, the inner city. It's always got to be something negative about black people. It's a winning deal for them. That's why they do it. And the thing is, they're so wrong. They get their own people trapped up in the lie because they use us. But to tell you the truth, too, Trump is racist. His dad was a KKK.
100%.
He's a KKK, and those five, the Central Park Five, he was putting them to death before they even had the trial.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. That's the one thing that is just, for me, is people talk about what people have done and all. Listen, this man openly, and still to this day, when these guys were exonerated, still says that they did it. Do you know how disgusting of a human being that you have to be, that you can't look in the mirror and say there was another person that admitted to actually doing this, and you still say no, these guys did it, and they admitted to doing. There were teenagers who were under pressure who were forced to admit something that they did not do, and he sits there and he still blames them.
Right.
It's crazy.
Not only them, other states still did it. Chicago, made people fortunate say I admit it down south and Mississippi all over.
They do it all the time, and that's the thing that frustrates me is that we let this man get a pass. We let Donald Trump get a pass.
Who's the biggest crook? Who's the biggest crook? He's the biggest crook. He's a pilot.
He is, and the thing is, the man has been accused of sexually assaulting all these women. That's the thing that's crazy to me. Y'all think everybody lying when it comes to
not only women, children.
Yeah,
13, 14, Epstein. He's in the picture with Epstein.
He is,
and they were bumping 13, 14-year-old kids.
And I'll say this, Miss Sandra, thank you so much. And I'll say this: when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump said about Jeffrey Epstein. He said that, oh yeah, Jeffrey, he likes him young. Now, we just talked about Drake for months about certified lover boy, certified pedophile. What? And so we talked about that. We joked about Drake. But y'all sit here and voted for Donald Trump to be a president when he literally said about Jeffrey Epstein he likes him young. If you know somebody likes him young, that is not a damn joke. You are a sick individual to know that somebody likes young women under the age of 18 and you laughed about it and you said it.
This is a sick Negro.
But y'all voted for him. 833-212-1017. Al, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your thoughts on this conversation?
Well, my thoughts is, there was 3 boys in there, too, that Donald Trump had taught that was allegedly was messing with 3 boys. One was 11, one was 12, and one was 9. But the real reason they're standing with Donald Trump is because of his white skin. But the real issue is not with society. Their issue should be with a mammy and a pappy who put all that baggage on their shoulders because the mammy and pappy didn't have enough to make the cut. So now they're dealing with reality with false narratives. Because if you look at everything, it's always dealing with black people, but it really comes from their dark history that their guilt is eating them up on the inside from.
Al, you're absolutely right.
Thank you very much.
You're absolutely right.
Have a great day.
Yeah, you too, Al. And that is what this is all about, right? This is all about telling white people that it is okay to move past our past history. But what they don't understand is that unconscious bias is real. Grouping ourselves in certain groups is real. They have to understand that there are banks in America who recently, within the last 3 years, have been sued for discrimination against people of color. There are people who get appraisals in America who are black, and if they have pictures of black in their home, their house will be appraised for less versus if they change out what is in their home and they have white people, it will be appraised for more. This is what I'm talking about of why we have to recognize that Donald Trump does not care about you. He is a white nationalist president. If you voted for him, you voted for a white nationalist. You can't tell me no different because anytime anybody gets into office and they say, we are going to not allow for people to discriminate against whites. And this is coming from ProPublica, from somebody from the Department of Education. They said, we have essentially been muzzled. Department of Education halts thousands of civil rights investigations under Trump. Since Inauguration Day, the Office of Civil Rights has only opened 20 investigations focused on Trump's priorities, placing more than 10,000 student complaints related to disability access and sexual and racial harassment on hold. See, this is what this tells me is that Trump don't care about you getting harassed. Trump doesn't care about sexual harassment. Trump doesn't believe that racial stuff exists. Trump ain't worried about people with disabilities because we know when he mocked that reporter that had a disability, he doesn't care about that. Trump's main focus, and I'm going to tell y'all what his priorities are. Trump's main priorities right now in his administration, when it comes to the civil rights division, the main focus that he wants everybody to focus on is he wants people to focus on cases that are related to gender-neutral bathrooms, against trans women's athletes, any alleged anti-Semitism and discrimination against white students. Now, I'm not making that up. That is coming from Inside Higher Education, which is a reputable publication that is seen as a standard across higher education, where they are saying there is a new report that Trump has shifted the focus on new cases. So the 10,000 cases that had to deal with sexual discrimination, that had to deal with racial discrimination, that had to deal with disability discrimination, those 10,000 cases have been on hold, and they are now prioritizing cases that are related to gender-neutral bathrooms, trans women athletes, which there are 13 trans women athletes all across the NCAA athletics, but that's the focus. Alleged anti-Semitism, because even though Jewish people don't vote for them, they do have a lot of influence and power. And discrimination. And discrimination against white people. I'm telling y'all, this is nonsense. 833-212-1017. Tony from Toast here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your thoughts on this conversation?
I want to get to the BRICS situation in just a sec, but
you said what situation?
This is the thing with church, the BRICS.
Oh, we're not talking about BRICS today. We're not talking about BRICS. I'm talking about that was just a side.
You just said that earlier.
No, that was a caller that called in, Tony. I ain't talking about BRICS. I'm not talking about BRICS today. I don't know enough about BRICS to be going in on BRICS today. I know just general information that I've generally read. I can't go deep into BRICS today.
Okay, because I was gonna go in on it. I was gonna go in on it, but never mind.
I'll have a different show a different day when I get passionate about BRICS. Because right now we got other things to focus on. What up, Tony? Tough from Tulsa, though.
So the situation now that you were talking about, and this is the thing that trips me out. Hey, again, you know I'm not a Trump fan. I'm strictly in the middle.
Yes, you are.
I'm independent. I don't care about the left or the right. But what I'm saying is,
who'd you vote for before you talk? Who'd you vote for?
Same. I vote for Jill Stein.
Oh man, that's well. I mean, I guess there's a whole bunch of losers, only one winner, and so you just voted for a sure person that was going to lose. So, but that's okay.
Well, I mean, that's the case. The deck is stacked against people that actually want to make a change.
That's true.
So, I mean, we keep voting for the left or the right. You're getting the same thing. You're getting two sides of the same coin. And so most people, and I'm trying to educate people to start to understand that, it's no different from what Malcolm X said back in the day between the fox and the wolf. They're the same person, but they want the same outcome, and they're going to get the same outcome because the people that control them, both sides of the coin. And so, like, even though you were saying Trump was accused of sexual assault, so was Biden. Tara Reid can't come back to the United States because she's trapped in Russia because they kicked her out. So there's been several sexual assault cases against Biden as well.
How many sexual assault cases where he was? Wait, can I ask a question? And I'm not defending Biden because this is what we do, right? We try to point one and the other. There's a lot of people been accused of it. How many were found actually liable where Trump was supposed to pay where Biden was supposed to pay for sexual assault?
Well, see, that's the deal. The cases that were against Biden, they didn't even reach the courts because they had to escape the country. So that's what I'm saying. It's like they have it on both sides. One person is just a little bit more powerful than the other. So again, the powers that be want you to build up all this hatred towards Trump. And like some of this stuff with ProPublica, like they have their agenda. And my deal is that
so
they want to get us riled up to fight against it.
So wait a minute.
For example,
what you say? Wait a minute, Tony. Let me ask you.
Let me get to this real
before you get to the example. So what you're trying to tell me is that people are trying to get me riled up against Trump. I'm not hearing Trump after a plane crash say that DEI has something to do with it. I'm not hearing Trump saying what black people, you're living in squalor. What do you have to lose? Like, are you saying are you just saying that somebody else is trying to make me feel this way? That's all I'm asking. Is that he's not saying things?
This is the thing. When it comes to DEI, I don't get in my feelings about DEI because DEI doesn't affect us.
Yes, it does.
DEI mostly is profitable for people, white people.
Hey, Tony.
Yes,
Tony,
yes.
Tony,
we are
wait a minute,
on that list.
Tony,
I can.
How is it not impacting us, Tony, if we have literally departments? Educational opportunity programs are talking to people who are lawyers to try to see can they still give money to students who are black. So we need to stop the narrative that DEI doesn't impact us. Yes, white women benefit the most from it. Absolutely.
Most.
But guess what, Tony?
I can run down.
Wait a minute, Tony. But guess what? White men marry white women. White women are not going to be as negatively impacted by that. Black people, yes, black people are going to suffer when you are talking about cutting black student unions. Black black people are going to suffer when you talk about cutting scholarship programs that support black students. Black people are going to suffer when you talk about cutting federal funding for schools. But just what I'm saying is that
1.7%, Kyle.
What do you mean 1.7%?
I want you to understand that percentage that I'm coming out. 1.7%. We get 1.7% from DEI. Not my facts. But the fact that I can send you 1.7%.
Okay, Tony.
That is 304.
Tony, tell me this.
34,000 per state.
Tony, did you ever go to a black student union?
I'm trying to give you the facts so you don't get all upset.
Tony, did you ever go to a black student union? Tony, when you were in school, did you ever go to a BSU party or a BSU event? Did you ever go to it?
No, never did.
Okay, well, hell, then. That you chose not to. That's fine. But there's a lot of students here who go to that. So imagine a black student union on campus being told, as we saw at the University of Utah, that you should probably change your name. Imagine a black student union on campus being told that, hey, you can have this event, but don't talk about race or identity. So stop with this nonsense where we're talking about Department of Education. This move of DEI doesn't impact us. You fools, it does. It does. And here's another thing. Here at 101.7 The Truth, we are white-owned. Shout out to Craig Carmazin. But the FCC has an initiative, which they're probably going to get rid of now, an initiative where they want more black ownership in radio. They want to make sure they give more licensings to black people, to Hispanic people. They want more minorities to have ownership in FCC licensing, because we have to understand historically we have been left out of so many things, and this is something we have also been left out of. I promise y'all this, the Trump administration is going to say we need to get rid of that. Now, will that impact us? No, we're not black-owned. But there are black-owned stations across this country that there was an incentive to help support those black-owned stations because they were not supporting those black-owned stations before, and they're trying to rectify a horrific thing they did in the past, and now they're trying to get rid of it. What I'm trying to tell y'all this is Trump is trying to erase history. And I love Tony from Tulsa. I love all of Truth Nation. But we cannot allow people to try to discredit things that we're saying. He tried to minimize. He said, oh, well, white women get it only impacts 1.7%. Stop with that. Stop with that. Because anybody that's been on a campus, you know how much BSU means. Anytime you go into MPS, free and reduced lunch, any federal dollars that are attached to that, if that gets cut, that's kids who aren't getting that free and reduced lunch, or it's going to come out of our tax dollars that we already sent through the federal government. So we need to stop this false narrative that black people aren't impacted by this. We are. Do y'all really think when they make these rules, they're trying to hurt white women? No. They're trying to hurt you, Truth Nation. That's what they're trying to do. And Donald Trump is making a mockery, an absolute mockery of having the highest office. You go to the White House website right now, and what he has is himself with a crown on his head that says, "Long live the king." He's trolling as the president when he needs to be focused on lowering grocery prices, when he needs to be focused on trying to end wars, when he needs to be focused on trying to get the economy together. But instead, he's making a mockery of us voting for him. Not me, some of y'all. 833-212-1017. This is Truth in Ya. This is Truth to Power. I'm sorry, that's when I feel in. I got into my moment. This is Truth to Power on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I'm Kyle Walls. We'll wrap up the show on the other side.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube. The Truth app is home for all the Milwaukee Panther content you would want.
He'll dart baseline, and he will tomahawk it home with his right hand.
From conversations on the airwaves.
We're going to defend every board up the floor and every bounce and every pass. And we've got good depth, and you have to have good depth for the way we play.
To game highlights.
At the top, rises for three over Young and buries it.
Find The Roar on the Truth app, Apple, Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcasts to keep up with Panthers hoops.
February 23rd, Second Chance Outreach presents a Black History Month celebration. It's the Sound of Gospel, an anthology depicting the rich history and evolution of gospel music. Live in the Pabst Theater, beginning at 3 p.m. It's inspirational entertainment for the entire family. For tickets, go online to pepstheatergroup.com.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
1, 2, 3, ho!
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am Kyle Walsh, and boy, I told you I was fired up today. I was fired up today because this really grinds my gear. Knowing that the Trump administration had an executive order where President Trump directed agencies to provide a plan to eliminate federal funding for illegal and discriminatory treatment and indoctrination in K-12 schools, including gender-based ideology and discriminatory equity ideology, and seeking to end the woke DEI agenda. Funding that he's looking to cut. And I'm telling y'all, white nationalism is on the rise. And this is only the beginning. We are seeing government overreach right now where they are basically telling schools what type of spaces and what type of things you can have on campus, or we're going to take away these different or take away funding that you can have. And this is why it's so nerve-wracking for me, because mark my words, Truth Nation, it already happened once. I had a conversation with somebody. I had a white person ask me about, so can white people attend HBCUs? I'm telling y'all, Truth Nation, mark my words. By the time we get to next September, August, you will have more white people on national TV around your office asking, what are these HBCUs and why do we have them? Mark my words. Somebody will be foolish enough to ask, why do we have HBCUs? They're racist. Why do you have historically black colleges? Why can't white people go there? They're not educated. But I promise y'all, that is what's going to happen. Because what Trump is doing right now is he's rallying the troops. He's making people aware of all these different things and making them say, yeah, this isn't fair. Why am I being treated this way as a white person? That is what we are seeing. We are seeing the rise of white nationalism, and some of you idiots voted for this. You voted for an individual who is actively working to uplift the white race. He literally said that he wants the Civil Rights Division in the Department of Education to focus on white people being discriminated against. White people being discriminated against. I can't make this up, Truth Nation. But thank y'all so much for joining me here on Truth to Power. We're going to have some fun tomorrow on Truth to Power as we get y'all ready for the weekend. But as always, I love y'all and thank y'all for tuning in. The Tory Lowe Show is up next. This has been Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth. Peace out. See y'all tomorrow. This is 1017 The Truth's Kyle Wallace, and the time is now, Milwaukee. Truth to Power is your platform, and on my show, our community always has a voice. There is no topic that is off limits, and I always give you my authentic opinions on how I feel, because keeping it real is the only way I know how to get down. Listen to Truth to Power with me, Kyle Wallace, every day from noon to 1 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on YouTube at 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
One call, that's all.
What up, Truth Nation? I'm back, baby, and this is your chance to get entered to win the 5K giveaway. Be caller number 5 right now at 833-212-1017 for your chance to be entered to win $5,000 as part of our Gruber Cash giveaway. Yes, be caller number 5 at 833-212-1017 right now, and you will be entered in to win $5,000 giveaway with the award-winning 1017 The Truth in Gruber Law Offices. Again, that is caller number 5 at 833-212-1017. Remember, if you or a loved one has ever been injured in an accident, feel free to call Gruber Law Office today or visit. Y'all know what it is. Call in. Gruber Law Office, one call, that's all.
Tune in to The Truth this Saturday at 11 a.m. for another episode of